Internet, I'm Hazel. It is almost Saturday, and it's time to sit down and do a vlog before I forget what day of the week it is, and then almost not do it because I completely forgot that Saturday even happens. So this time we're on it. It's Friday, we're doing it. And this week, what happened? I finally have set my priest up with a disc spec to try and PvP on. I've been kind of thinking about disciplined PvP for a long time because the one thing that really gets me as a Resto Druid is I really hate dying horribly because of like a really small mistake, which is a pretty big vulnerability of Resto Druids in Arena. You can get tunneled down, especially by certain comps. They're just going to murder you, and that's all they're going to do, and it's just the worst. And aside from Paladin, Disc Priest is the one healer that doesn't really get trained all that much because they tend to be fairly tanky. And I'm tanky regardless of whether or not I try to go bear form or not, because I can't be a bear because I'm a priest. So I finally got my priest set up. I've been kind of resistant to it for a while because my priest is my raiding character. It's my shadow priest, and she, you know, her bags had gear, like a set and then an offset and then potions and then flasks and like some garrison stuff and like some teleport items. It was my main, so her bags had so much stuff in them. And I didn't really have a lot of room for a PvP set. I didn't want to clog them up with another set of gear. But now I figure it's, I mean, we're not raiding anymore. It's very unlikely that we're going to raid again before Legion. So when I get my PvP set, I can just kind of put my regular raiding set. I won't delete it or anything, but I'll put it in the bank, and it can live there. I'm one of the people that still has room in my bank. Not my void storage. I'm pretty sure void storage is full, but I betcha I could, like, even if I have to buy some bigger bags for my bank, I could probably scooch it into my bank. So I finally got that set up. I haven't done too much. I just did a couple battlegrounds, and I did a couple skirmishes on it, so I don't really know what I'm doing, but I have buttons. I have some keybinds, and I've got some macros. That's a good start. I won 3 skirmishes in a row, which was pretty cool. I'm basically an expert now. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be really fun. So I'm excited to try that. Other things I've tried in PvP, I tried out last night, yesterday. So normally I queue Turbo Cleave, which is me on the Resto Druid, and then an Enhancement Shaman and an Arms Warrior. And for a change, I decided to queue a little bit of Rogue Mage Druid, a little bit of RMD yesterday. I finally found a pug that was the appropriate rating for me to be learning a new compat. And there are 2 guys that were patient enough that I didn't hate myself if I didn't immediately grasp the concept. Because RMD requires quite a bit of setup. It requires quite a bit of coordination. And that's why I've been kind of scared to get into it with random people, because they may expect me to be more familiar with that than I would be having only played mostly Turbo. But I tried it yesterday, and it was actually really, really fun. I want to do a lot more of it because I was so overwhelmed with how different everything was that I felt like there was a lot going on I didn't really grasp. But I know it's out there, and I wanna work on it, and I want to get a clear view of what's going on when I'm playing it, and I feel like it could be really, really fun, especially with the right team. So I'm excited about that. Is anything else going on in WoW? As far as videos go, I know I didn't put out, I went to look for the vlog questions, and I went to my channel. I was like, oh god, I didn't make any videos since this last vlog. I've been kind of in a weird headspace. I just need to snap out of it and get back on a normal schedule. The problem with streaming so regularly and streaming so late is that it kind of mucks up my schedule for videos, but I just need to power right through that because there's no really good excuse there. But yeah, for videos, the ones I want to do after the Enhancement Shaman preview, which I am working on, I do have some notes laid out for that, and I've got some footage laid out for that, so it shouldn't take me too much longer. It should be taking me basically one good solid day of work. If I can actually get 8 hours in on it, that video should be done. So I'll do the Enhancement Shaman preview, the Enhancement Shaman PvP guide, and then I want to do a couple of... I know I said before that I was going to be done with Legion previews, but people have asked for more of them on different classes, so I'm not going to 100% say that I'm done with them, but I'm going to do a couple other videos in between. The first one that I want to do is about how I keybind for healing in Arena. I've had a lot of people ask about my keybinds, my macros, my add-ons, all of that, so I want to do a couple of videos that go over different... very beginner, very basic aspects of setting your character and your UI up to do Arena, as a beginner. And I want to get that done, so that'll be after the Enhancement Shaman previews, and that's kind of what's on my list. So, in non-WoW news, I have been replaying Pokemon X. Pokemon games are something I always go back to whenever I get kind of in like a weird headspace, and I need something really familiar and really comforting to just kind of like suck myself into for a little bit. And Pokemon X, I've decided, is my favorite Pokemon game, and that took a lot of effort for me to really, you know, commit to that. Not that anybody's gonna hold me to that or anything, but I always figured that because Pokemon Gold was the one that I had as a kid that I put the most time into, that would be my favorite forever. But Pokemon X has something really special to it. And it has a lot of features that I really click with. I love the world. I love the roller skating around. I love the dress up. I love the Pokemon. I love the graphics and the way they portrayed a lot of things in the environment and also the Pokemon. And Xerneas, which is the legendary Pokemon of Pokemon X, it's like a fairy type deer Pokemon that's made for me. So I love Pokemon X. I'm replaying it, and I'm still trying to figure out what Pokemon I want for my playthrough. Right now, I've got a Pancham, which is like a little kung fu panda who turns into Pangoro, which is like this giant fighting dark type panda fighter dark thing. It's so cool. I want him. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. And then gardening wise, my tomatoes, they're still in their little seed tray, but they're growing so fast that I need to find something to put them in, and it's too cold to put them outside still. So I need to find like intermediate containers. So I've been just like drinking a lot of milk and like trying to save like kitchen containers and like clean them out and poke some holes in the bottom so I can have some like a mid-sized containers to pot my tomato plants up into. I only have 3 tomato plants because, let's be honest, there's only 2 people and we don't eat that much. So I don't think we're going to need like 1 million tomatoes. We're probably going to end up with 1 million tomatoes. But yeah, I only have 3 plants, so I only need 1 more container. But I'm kind of sick of drinking milk. I need to come up with something else. I could just buy pots, but that's boring. That's like $4 whole, you know. Okay. Pictures of this week. I only have 4 of them to show just because I haven't done today's yet, and then one of them counted for 2 days worth because it took me a long ass time. So this first one this is just an abstract ribbons. I wanted to try doing an abstract design, but I didn't have as much time as I wanted to make it as detailed as I wanted. And this is again in like a phone wallpaper style, but I'm not terribly happy with it. I don't think I would ever put this on my phone, but there it is. This next one, I wanted to try doing portraits. I wanted to try and put more work into faces because, as you can see with the one that I drew, I'm real bad. Facial proportions are really hard for me to nail down, and the human face is something that everybody can instantly tell it looks weird if the proportions are off because we're so in tune with what a human face is supposed to look like. So this is supposed to be an angry woman. She's got some cool hair that I actually saw it in Black Desert. It's one of the Black Desert hairstyles. And yeah, she looks bad. But it was a good try. It was A for effort. And then the next day I decided to try again and sit down and take a lot more time with it. So this one actually took me 2 days to work on. And this is a portrait of my dwarf shaman in-game. And I'm actually really happy with this one. Like I said, it took me a long time. I spent a huge amount of time just like drawing lines and erasing them and scooching them and drawing lines and erasing them and scooching them. And that is where digital art comes in really handy because you can actually erase things. You're not just like wearing your piece of paper until it's a hole. So this is a dwarf shaman portrait. I'm pretty happy with it. I want to try doing a bunch of my different characters just in face-on expressionless portraits like this just to kind of get the hang of that. And then I want to do face-on portraits with expressions, and then I want to try and do different angles and like branch out to more of the character. But I need to learn how to work faster because this took me way too long for just like a head that's not all that complicated. So there's that. And then the one that I did yesterday, this is a similar style portrait of my human priest. Again, it took me quite a while. I'm not as happy with this one. I think one of her eyebrows is a little bit off, and I think that makes her look a tiny bit funny, but it's a lot better than the one that I did 2 before that. So that's that. Anyways. Questions for this week. Brian asked if the cat jumped off or if I helped it down, just from last week when the cat was on top of my chair. Honestly, I don't remember. I probably helped her down. She can jump off just fine by herself. Usually the way she jumps off is she'll crawl down me. She'll like step on my shoulder and then like jump onto my lap and then get down that way. Occasionally she'll just leap off the top of the chair. And more often than not, I will pick her up off the top of the chair and I'll put her down or I'll like help her down because, she jumps up on the top of the chair. If she's awake and not just like sleeping through the whole day, she will jump up on the top of the chair over and over and over again. And I can't always work with her up there because she'll be shifting around trying to stay stable on a surface that's way too narrow for her. So she'll be like shaking my chair around a whole bunch. So I just keep throwing her off and she'll jump up and I'll throw her off and she'll jump up. And I'm sure it's very good exercise for her. But yeah, she doesn't really get the hint. I probably put her down. Damon asks, if you do get into alpha or have access to more information, will you do an update for class previews? So I probably wouldn't do, the way I would handle that, I probably wouldn't do a full redo of all of the information that it went over in the original video because it's pretty redundant. But what I would like to do is if I do get into the alpha before the thing launches, within a couple of weeks of the game launching it, like within a couple of weeks of the alpha coming down, or the beta or whatever, once the class design decisions are mostly finalized, I wouldn't mind doing a really short overview of the major combat abilities that have changed, and then just do like a real quick knockout of what's different and what it's like, the more of a feel kind of thing, as opposed to very specific ability changes, but just like the major abilities that we lost, the major new abilities that we got, and like resource changes and stuff like that. So I wouldn't mind doing a really short overview for as many classes as I can get through, of their kind of final stage changes, so that anybody that hasn't been following the Legion Alpha because they don't really want to go on the emotional roller coaster of going up and down throughout all of the changes has an idea of what is basically overall changing right before the Legion patch comes out, so that when 7.0 comes out, they're not completely blindsided. So I would like to do that, but unfortunately there's no guarantee that I'll get in. I'm really, like, I know there's going to be beta keys because they handed out beta keys to a bunch of websites, and with the intention that within the next couple of weeks, hopefully, or at least within the next month or two, it is going to move into the beta phase, and then keys will be available. And I'm really hoping that once keys start circulating around, that I can either whine one out of CM on Twitter, or if one of you gets a beta key and you don't think that you want to play the beta, like if you don't want to burn yourself out on it before it comes out and you'd rather be a kind soul and donate it to me. A lot of people have offered, that are in the Legion Alpha now, have been offered to let me access their accounts in order to make videos, and while that is a very sweet thing to offer, I don't want to get anybody in trouble for account sharing, and I don't really want to mess with it myself. It's just against the terms of service, and I just don't want to go there. So, but if there's beta keys, those are perfectly legit to trade around. So if anybody ends up with one of those and they don't want it and they feel like donating it to my cause, I'm really hoping I can just get a hold of one somehow once those are available and working. So hopefully I can get in, and then I can do quick overall holistic change overviews once the class design is mostly finalized, is what I'm trying to say there. Jeff asks, can you do a Pokemon Let's Play just for fun? I would love to, honestly. Pokemon's a lot of fun, but there's two problems with that. One of them is that I don't have a capture device for my 3DS, and capture devices for 3DS are a real pain in the butt to get a hold of. They're quite expensive, and they're a bit finicky, and you have to be really dedicated to that genre of game to even want to worry about that. And the second problem is I play Pokemon in a way that would be absolutely mind-numbingly boring to watch. I love playing Pokemon, extremely grindy. I will stay in any area until I've caught every Pokemon that I can from that area, which sometimes means I've stayed in it until I've out-leveled it by several magnitudes of 10. Like, it's huge. I'll be at level 70 before I'm halfway through the game because I have to catch every single Pokemon. And I just like grinding. That's the thing I like about Pokemon, is it's a nice game where I enjoy grinding in that game, especially while doing something else. I'll put on some Netflix and then just sit down and walk around that zone and work on catching my stuff. So I will not be doing a Pokemon Let's Play, but it's a good thought. It turns out Dark Souls 3, actually, now that I'm on the topic of Let's Plays, Dark Souls 3 is not, like, March 24th, which is yesterday, was a Japanese release, and the release for major Dark Souls streamers, and major streamers, which I'm obviously not part of. April 12th? April 11th or 12th is when the mainstream US release is, so that's actually not yet. That's in a couple weeks from now. So I might look into doing something for that. I still don't know what I want to do for that. I don't know if I want to stream it and then make highlights like I did for Bloodborne, or if I should just not stream it and do a Let's Play, or if I should do none of the above and then just play it. I don't know. I'll work it out. In any case, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions you would like answered on a vlog, just leave them in the comments of the most recent vlog. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.